The following graphics you see belong 100% to Zeus54. I would like to say that he is a great artist and deserves to have his own site and get paid to make drawings. If I was ever to get paid for videos that involved his drawings, I would like for the funds to be shared. What's up, YouTube? The TheMetaChaser13x back at you with another video. Now, I do apologize for not keeping up with uploads every day. Um, duty calls at work. And speaking of which, I picked up an extra shift for tomorrow. So I do apologize if you're waiting on uploads and you don't get them tomorrow. I'm extremely busy. So yeah, I just thought I'd throw that out there. Anyways, this video, I know I keep saying this, it's gonna go in a different direction, as always. But this one pertaining to Black and White 2, which a lot of you may already know, has been released in Japan and will not be released in North America until sometime around the fall, which is really far away and kind of disappointing. But those are the cards that we got dealt, and we just gotta play it out until it comes out. um, but yes, thanks to Rycard3, he was able to find the move tutor list for Pokemon Black and White 2. You heard that right, folks. Move tutor. And you can bet that with the new forms of Pokemon and new moves that can be learned, you can bet that there's going to be some new sets that will make pretty much any Pokemon you want more deadly. Um, I'm going to be going over a few set ideas. The first one is with my favorite electric eel, known as Electros. So let's get started with him. Oh, and just a side note, these sets are only legal in Pokemon Black and White 2. You cannot use these sets in the first Pokemon Black and White, otherwise you're technically a hacker, and well, no one likes to be called a hacker. So yes, side note ended. Moving on. So, ladies and gentlemen, this one is Electros, as I said before, and he has been one of my favorite Pokemon since I first seen it. I mean, it's slow, but it's an electric type, and because of its ability Levitate, it virtually has no weaknesses, barring Mold Breaker from your opponents, or if you get tricked in Iron Ball, or if you get uh, gravity used on you, then you're kind of screwed. um, so, anyways, the nature we're going to be using is Careful. The item we're going to be using is Leftovers. And the EVs are going to be 252 in HP, 252 in Special Defense, and 250, or I'm sorry, 6 in Speed, just to give you that one more speed point. As for the moves, first one's going to be Thunder Punch, so that you're sacrificing a little less power in comparison to Wild Charge for no recoil damage and longer longevity. If that made any sense. Anyways, next move we're going to be using is Drain Punch, and that's basically what's going to be tying the set all together. In conjunction with Leftovers, Drain Punch steals half of your opponent's health, and it works out really good. Next move we're going to be using is Dragon Tail, so that you can act as a shuffle staller. And the last move we're going to be using is what ties the whole set together, Coil, which boosts your attack, defense, and accuracy. So after one coil, you're pretty much set to wreck. So I'm going to move on to the next set for a different Pokemon. So the next Pokemon to receive a pretty awesome upgrade via Move Tutor would be Superior. The ability we're going to be using is Overgrow. Nature's going to be Careful. Items going to be Leftovers. 252 are going into HP for EVs, 252 Special Defense EVs, and 6 into Speed. Now the moves we're going to be using, Leaf Blade, Iron Tail, and Aqua Tail. Aqua Tail is an awesome move that smashes its fire type weakness, while Iron Tail completely crushes its ice type weakness to dust. And Coil basically ties it all in since those two moves have pretty shaky accuracy. Now, this next set focuses on its Dream World ability Contrary, which basically reverses any stat changes. Um, so say if you were to use Leaf Storm, instead of your special attack going down by 2 stages, it would be going up by 2 stages. The nature is going to be Timid. Item can either be Focus Sash or Leftovers. Focus Sash if you're worried about getting knocked out in one hit, or Leftovers because Superior has pretty awesome natural bulk. Now, as for the EVs, 6 are going into HP, 252 into special attack, and 252 into speed. The moves we're going to be using, Leaf Storm, like I said, that's what ties this set together. Dragon Pulse, and I just want to say that finally, they give Superior a move that looks like that it can be used very well. Like, from the get-go, I thought that Superior was a Grass Dragon type. Um, so they should have considered adding that typing in, but oh well. The next move we're going to be using is either Hidden Power Rock or Hidden Power Fire. Hidden Power Rock to take on its Bug, Flying, Fire, and Ice type weakness. Fire to give it that pseudo coverage if you're using this on a Sun team. Sorry if that made absolutely no sense. But if you are using it on a Sun team, then Synthesis would be a great move, which is the next move that we have, so that you can heal up your HP when you're down low, obviously. And it is affected by the weather condition. If it is raining, hail, or sandstorm, it only heals up a third of your health. But if it's sunshine, it heals up 2/3 of your health, so I think that's really cool. So it's time to move on from this guy and on to the next. So the next Pokemon that we're going to be giving a look at is Gigalith. Now, despite its really awesome attack on the physical side, it got shafted to the never used tier because of its really bad move pool. Like it was just such a big disappointment. I felt like Nintendo was sort of leading us on with yet another cool Pokemon, but it came up short for whatever reason. Um, but it got some pretty nice new toys due to the Move Tutor, hence what this video is all about. So I'm going to get right to it. So the nature that we're going to be using is Careful. I skipped over the ability, my bad. The ability we're going to be using is its Dream World ability, Sand Force, and what that does is it powers up Rock, Steel, and Ground type moves up by 30%. Now, it works really good for Gigalith because of it being a Rock type. It gets an additional 50% boost in its special defense, making it a little bit harder to take down. The item we're going to be using is either Quick Claw if you want chance striking first, or Leftovers to increase your survivability. The EVs are going to be 252 in HP, 252 in special defense, and 6 into speed. Now, as for the moves, we're going to be using Stone Edge as Gigalith's main stab move. Earthquake to give you that Stonequake combo that everyone's been talking about. Iron Head. And by the way, in case you're wondering what B2W2 stands for in brackets, I decided to put that there, highlighting that those moves can only be learned in black and white too. And the last move we're going to be using is Curse, which lowers your speed by 1 stage but increases your attack and defense by 1 stage. So Quick Claw would go good with this set, although Leftovers is really good as well because it is bulky and it can take hits. Um, so there you have it with this set. These three moves, along with Curse, make the absolute best use out of Sand Force, and I would highly recommend that you try the set once Black and White 2 comes out because I think it would be pretty freaking amazing. So, with that, it's time to move on to one more. I don't want to keep going all night. One more, and that's it. Okay, so with this last set that I'm about to go through, I guarantee you that if Smogon was to see this set, or if someone else was to tell Smogon about it, or if someone already beat me to it, I guarantee you that this guy will go from NU to at least UU. If not, I will protest. Um, anyways, so this Pokemon's Braviary. Um, it has been a completely overshadowed and just underappreciated Pokemon, even though it's 100% male and it can't learn any egg moves. Um, I think it's pretty awesome either way. Like just look at it. It's a freaking like eagle. Anyways, so the ability we're going to be using is Defiant. It's its Dream World ability, and what that does is for every time you have your stats lowered, it increases by one stage. It increases your attack by 2 stages. So think about that. The nature we're going to be using is Adamant because with this beastly attack, you're going to want to maximize it as much as possible. The item we're going to be using is Leftovers to increase your longevity. The EVs are going into 6 are going into HP, 252 into attack, and 252 into speed. Um, the moves we're going to be using is Brave Bird because it's a really strong flying type attack, although it does have its repercussions, aka recoil damage. The next move we're going to be using, it can either be Claw Sharpen to boost Rock Slide's power and accuracy, as well as Brave Bird's accuracy and power, which by the way is its next move, Rock Slide. Or you can use U-Turn to basically use it to scout. It's really up to you. Um, already went over Rock Slide. Um, also a good way to cover its um, to cover flying, ice, bug, and fire. Um, and the last move we're going to be using, it's what's going to make this Pokemon shoot through the roof. I'm willing to bet that is Roost. Something that a really bulky bird Pokemon with high attack really needs. So, with that said, that pretty much wraps up this Pokemon, and this wraps up my video. Now, I know that there are other Pokemon that got really sweet toys in Black and White 2 thanks to the tutor, but I'm not going to be going over them right now. I just thought I would pick out a few Pokemon and just make some examples out of them. I certainly hope you enjoyed this video, and Smogon, if you're watching, you know, take notice of this video, just um, take these ideas into consideration. Um, I think these are really awesome and would go very well in competitive battling. So that's all, guys. Take care, everybody.